Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this was going around yesterday, I believe. Alternative resolution could be on the table in the Ripple versus SEC case by November 4th. This is not the same case, folks. This is one of the lawsuits that had been filed. I think this is one of the lawsuits that had been filed against Ripple in California. Remember those one where some guy lost like $150 and he's but it's talking about an alternative resolution but where they could resolve it. Maybe they're talking about some kind of settlement, I don't know, by November 4th, 2024. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. By the way, I also hadn't given a baseball update on my college baseball playing son, but I did in the last video. But he just called me and he said that his coach wanted him to pitch again this week, or possibly pitch again this week. So this kid is apparently doing something right. So I'm proud of him. Check this out, because all eyes on Bitcoin, because we all want Bitcoin to hit an all-time high sooner rather than later. It's pulled back below 72, but we wanted to get up to, I think it's like 73,500 is where, and then the shorts all get taken out at 74,000. $2.1 billion worth of Bitcoin shorts will be liquidated at $74,000 Bitcoin. Let's liquidate them all. I like the sound of that. I couldn't remember, I don't think I had shown this, but this is from a week or so ago with Tim Draper. But it's interesting what Tim Draper says here. And by the way, does anybody remember that one time, somehow, I can't even remember how, I think it was on, maybe it was a link to YouTube video, but or conference or something. But anyway, one time I got a chance to ask Tim Draper if he held XRP, and B, I asked him, did you sell all your XRP when the SEC dropped the lawsuit on Ripple? And he's like, oh no. Well, first of all, he said, I do own XRP. And then he said, oh no, I didn't sell it. Like, that's ridiculous.
Our economy can take off in a Bitcoin economy. And it's happening now in El Salvador. I mean, now that country is taking off. They'll be able to pay, Bitcoin hits, I don't know, 100,000. They'll be able to pay off the IMF, never have to talk to them again. They'll be able to, they'll probably be the most attractive country in the world to go live. And they will have, within maybe 30 or 40 years, gone from the poorest, most crime-ridden country to maybe one of the richest, most innovative countries in the world, just in that period of time. And just because they embraced Bitcoin.
There you go. This is CZ Binance. He's now out of prison. Here's what he's talking about: Bitcoin and the market cycles.
Okay, I'll try not to give any financial advice, but and also history doesn't predict the future. But I cannot predict the future. I can analyze the history. Historically, Bitcoin has went through very clear 4-year cycles. So 2013 was like a bull year. 2017 was a bull year. So actually, 2012 was a recovery year. I think most people don't look back that far. And then 2013 was a bull year. 2016 was a recovery year. 2014, 2015 were tough. 2016 was a recovery year. And then 2017 went all the way over. And then 2020 was a recovery year. And then 2021 was a bull year. This year, now we're kind of back to the previous all-time highs. So like 2024 is a recovery year based on the current analysis, or based on the current prices. Next year, I don't know what's going to happen, but overall, the long term for the industry, I think there's so much more that has to be built, that needs to be built, and that will be built. So I think the industry will get bigger. More and more people will use crypto. And with more people use crypto, the utility value will increase. So long term, I'm still very, very bullish. Short term, it's very hard to predict.
Okay, and then he gives here, he talks a little bit about what it was like in prison and how the prison guards were even asking him about crypto.
If you're alone, if you have no community, then you will not end up well, I think. So no financial advice. The guards did ask you for altcoin picks. Actually, I did have a couple of guards recognize me and then ask me like, what coin should I buy? I'm like, I better not pick the wrong coin. No, I told them, look, I'm inside. I don't have any access to information, right? So there's no internet. All my information is through like some limited length messages my friends and family send me, and we don't talk about crypto. So I did get a few guys ask. I did get a few guards ask me that. I did make a couple of friends who I still keep in touch with. But everywhere you go, so to be honest, I think they're very nice people in prison. So people are very chill. I think, to be honest, I think a decent portion of them has no reason to be there, right? So they were in there for the wrong reasons. They're super nice guys. They may have stepped in some area here or there, but some of them are for very minor violations, and they're there for a very long time. Many of them are there for like 8-10 years for very minor offenses. So some of them, for the ones that are supposed to be there, many of them are there for way too long. But in prison they're very nice people. I didn't have any trouble from any of the inmates.
Okay, now you got to hear this from Milton Friedman. This guy was so sharp. We need more of these type of people in our country today. I want you to hear what he says.
As I said before, keep your eye on one thing and one thing only, how much government is spending. Because that's the true tax. Every budget is balanced. There is no such thing as an unbalanced federal budget. You're paying for it. If you're not paying for it through it in the form of explicit taxes, you're paying for it indirectly in the form of inflation or in the form of borrowing. The thing you should keep your eye on is what government spends. And the real problem is to hold down government spending as a fraction of our income. And if you do that, you can stop worrying about the debt.
So, everybody always talks about Republicans, Democrats. But I can tell you what's never happened on either side of the aisle in my entire lifetime. It has never been discussed to try to solve the problem of government spending by either side. That alone makes it easy for you to decide who to elect.
But we set up Doge.
Yes.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
$2 trillion.
Yes.
$2 trillion.
In just junk
I mean, at
government
the end of the day,
spending.
you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether
If you want your children, your kids and your grandkids to have any kind of a future, this has got to be dealt with. These are the only people I've ever seen in 50 years of being alive that have talked about it, actually doing something about it.
it's direct taxation or all government spending, it's either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
I mean, what else is there to talk about, folks?
We're going to get
You
the
don't even have
government
to bring
off
up
your back.
the fact that they've let 20 million illegal immigrants in here so that they can try to turn them into voters to make your vote irrelevant.
And out of your pocketbook.
There we go. Check this out. Bankless said Ethereum is the internet of value, and I made them aware. I said, well, not according to Vitalik Buterin, it's not.
That's really what Ethereum is. You know, people talk a lot about things, talk about cryptocurrency 2.0 being like the internet of value. We're not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value. We're an arbitrary processor for state transaction functions. That's really what.
So, from the man himself, or at least now he's a man, Kristen Smith, today in partnership with HarrisX Data, we're launching Regulation by Enforcement to publicize Gary Gensler's regulation by enforcement approach to our industry. Check this out. So, spent in defensive litigation. This is money that has been spent by companies defending against the SEC that could have been spent on creating jobs and adding to innovation. Gary Gensler's overseen 104 enforcement actions. The voters prefer clear rules and regulation over enforcement by a factor of 2 to 1. American voter and investor is eager for change. 2/3 of voters agree the SEC should wait for clear guidelines from Congress. 18% crypto voters make up 18% of the electorate. Interesting numbers. And then we've got this. Remember when we did Connect to Congress? Empower last week wanted us to help pressure Congress to get the OIG report on Bill Hinman and conflicts of interest released. The SEC is sitting on the report. So here's from Crypto Law. Total messages Connect to Congress, 1,081. New advocates, 131. Senators reached 88. Representatives reached 225. Now, government spending is one of the biggest problems we have in this country. I'm going to show you the other problem. I'm going to show you the censorship / election interference problem that has to be dealt with. It's the biggest one that there is, but I can't talk about it out here in DAIXRP.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.